Okay, so when I read it on part of this on Wednesday, the first quote that kind of popped out to me, it kind of was like, put it in perspective of what they were feeling was on page 186, and it was when they're first entering the city, and he sees all these like skyscrapers and nice houses and things, and he says to his grandmother, he says. It goes, oh, do white people live and work there too? No, those are mansions. Each is owned by one family. It's by one family? He's like so confused because he's been brought up in these townships and things, and that's just so odd to him. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think it's representative of the world he knows. He lives in the townships where there's 20 families in an area that small, and these mansions have one family in it, and I think it just further shows the unequal distribution of wealth that occurred in South Africa at the time. Really most times.
I also think it shows how cut off they wanted blacks and white, and the Afrikaners were so afraid of mixing that they don't even show the Africans the actual city and the place they're from because they're so scared of mixing cultures. It really shows the separation.
Okay.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I kind of wrote that. Well, yeah, so you said it, shows, the unequal distribution of wealth and stuff. Do you think little things like that, what if the townships had better living environments? Would it still be as segregated, or would it still be even if they, segregated and made it equal, would that still be okay, Because, right now...
Are you asking if it's okay? Are you asking if we support separate but equal?
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm saying, would the circumstance be different if the townships, had the same type of houses with one family each, but they still were kept separate? Would it still be,
separate but equal?
Yeah. Would the situation be different?
You're not asking if you can include,
I'm not asking if you guys, would prove that. I'm just saying,
I think it would be fine.
Yeah.
Because, there's just so much suffering going on in these, slums, essentially. You wouldn't have that if they had all the commodities that whites do.
All the whites were doing is they were suppressing these people, and I don't think there's a situation in which they would attempt separate but equal because what they have is this belief that they are better than these other people, and they don't feel the urge at all to even try to say separate but equal because they don't even want to pretend that they're equal. In segregated America, there was a point where oh yeah, they're equal, but we're just going to keep them separate. But that wouldn't have happened in South Africa.
Do you think that if it did happen, I'm not saying it would because of their beliefs, but if it did happen, do you think the uprising and eventually the apartheid was dismantled? Do you think it would still be going on now?
Yeah, I think that at some point it would definitely. This is weird. Okay, I think that at some point it would definitely. It would definitely there would be an uprising and the blacks would gain they would gain or they would become integrated with the whites, but I don't think it would have happened necessarily as fast because they weren't going if this situation was where they were equal to the whites, they wouldn't be suffering as much. And they wouldn't feel and basically their whole history has been living with black people. The white people just came along. I don't think that the issue for them, initially was that, they weren't living with the white people. It was the horrible conditions that the white people forced them to live in.
I think you're saying that working under the impression that you can have separate but equal, and we know, as proven by the civil rights movement in the United States, and that court case we cannot place right now, there is no such thing as separate but equal. You cannot create that. And so I think there still would have been an uprising because there was one in the Southern United States, and because separate but equal doesn't exist. You can't have that.
Because like this like the basic notion of like separating groups makes them unequal. Like it's impossible to have like a separate but equal if someone who's in power is making them separate.
Because there's like subliminal message like, oh yeah, you're equal, but we're gonna keep you separate in these different areas because, well, you're not actually equal to us as far as we're concerned.
Well, so if it's not possible for like separate and equal, how do you think the Smiths are really treating, I mean, they're not exactly being mean, they're not like at the top of apartheid, like they don't seem like they enforce it extremely hard, but do you think that they're treating Johannes and his grandmother like people?
Like relatively, yes. But I mean, not compared to like how we would treat them now. Or
well, I do think that they are, like, I think there's a certain thing we have to keep in mind is that even in a society that doesn't have, like, separation or segregation based on race, or, like, you know, racism in that extent, there's still going to be different socioeconomic conditions regardless. So, like, there still will be people with more money who have servants and stuff, and I think the Smiths are treating, or at least the mother is treating them at least on the level she would be if they weren't black and were still employed there. So I think there is a certain level of that, like them treating them right, but it happens to, it seems worse given what is occurring in the progressive act.
What do you think, CJ?
So I think that, like, I think in the society that we live in, we think that we're really, like, we think that we're really equal and, like, basically in that we're all one, like, but I still think that a lot of racism, like, even under the surface of, like, it's a lot less obvious than it was back then, but I think there's definitely a lot of racism, like, in our society today. There's just a lot of examples, and, like she was saying, socioeconomic conditions, like, that can have a major effect on, basically, like, it obviously happened in South Africa, like, even after apartheid, it was, like, things changed, but the politics changed, but the economics didn't, like, there was still, like, a huge separation, like, in wealth.
Wealth distribution, and,
With
like,
the townships.
Yeah, and, like, the black people in that situation often didn't, or, like, most of the families didn't have the money to, like, move out of the slums that they were forced to live in before. So it's like, while it changed and they're now able to vote, which is one step forward, there's also the economic issue, which is, like, I think is a very big part of the apartheid.
Why do you think it's like the parents treat Johannes and his grandmother better than Clyde? Because you could definitely tell that they were more humanly.
What do you mean by that?
Like, you know when Johannes like met the Smiths, why do you think the Smiths, like parents, were nicer to Johannes than Clyde was? Because you can see that they're kind of more humanly to Johannes than Clyde is to her.
Yeah, like on page 90, I actually found a quote that kind of represented that. It was when they went out to like play with Clyde or whatever.